What's up, Cougs? How's it going? My name is Drew Amburgy, and I'm joined with
Jakolby Wright.
And you're watching Coug on the Clock. Well, we're talking about 4 topics today for 3 minutes each. Let's get started. The first one we're talking about today is going to be the Cougs. Big win Saturday over Stanford Cardinal. It was kind of a crazy game. Started off a little bit shaky. The Cougs were down 13-0 after the first quarter. Offense just looked out of place. The defense couldn't stop anybody. But then after the first quarter, we kind of settled down. Delora started hooking up with Travail Harris, Joey Hobart, getting the running game going with Borgie, and then the defense really settled in. We scored 20 points in the second quarter, which is an amazing quarter. And then into the third quarter, we went up 27-16. Then it got a little bit shaky. A missed pass interference call led to a couple of touchdowns for Stanford, and they went up by a score. But with 3 minutes left, Delora clutched up the game, went down in about a minute and a half with 3 minutes left, got a touchdown, put us up by 3, and then the defense really locked things down. On that last drive by the Cardinal, we got 3 sacks, including a forced fumble to basically end the game that Brendan Jackson jumped on. And it was a big win for the Cougs. It moved us to 4-3 and kept our hopes alive in the Pac-12. Now, Delora was great, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. The defensive line played amazing. Coach Dickert really has that side of the ball playing well right now. Big win for the Cougs. How'd you enjoy the game?
I didn't watch it because I was watching Alabama play. I'm an Alabama fan, so I'm just going to let y'all know that now. But I will say that it did help them move up into the Pac-12 North rankings. We'll see where it goes. I mean, they still have Oregon and Arizona State, and those teams are the cream of the crop of the Pac-12 right now, even though Arizona State lost to Utah last night. Mm-hmm. But if they can run the table and win all those games, we might be talking about a Rose Bowl and a Pac-12 championship for Wazoo. I ain't going to say playoff. They'll never make the playoff. But we'll be talking about something good for them. Finally, since Mike Leach, basically. So, yeah.
Last year was a little bit rough. Looking forward, next week we got BYU coming into town. Now, they're coming off a loss to number 20 Baylor. It's not a bad loss, but they did get smacked around pretty bad. They lost to Boise State the week before. So they're kind of reeling right now, trending downwards. We're trending upwards. So for me, I think the Cougs actually pull out a win next week. I got them winning 31-25. I think the defense has another good game. You know, they're kind of struggling a little bit. And I think that the offense keeps it rolling, and we get out of Pullman with a win and go back into Pac-12 play at 5-3. What is your prediction for the game?
I do have Wazoo winning that game. We've seen BYU trend down for the last couple of weeks because of injuries. So those injuries are going to continue to catch up with them. So I don't think they have a chance. So, yeah. Yeah,
defense can really derail or injuries can really derail a season. All right, you heard the bell. Let's move on to our next topic today. We're going to cover more of the college football landscape, basically talking about the top teams. Now, Georgia, I know you don't like to hear that as an Alabama fan, but they keep on rolling. That defense is playing out of their minds right now, so everything stays normal at the top. But number 2, Iowa lost this week. So that pushed up Cincinnati, which is the highest ranking for them in their school's history. It's kind of nice to see a group of 5 team be ranked that high. Hopefully they can continue that up and make it into the college football playoff. Outside of that, we got OU, Oklahoma, Alabama, your team, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, and Oregon rounding out the top 10. So, a lot of blue bloods still at the top, but I do like seeing Cincinnati up there. Now, my predictions, let's go over our predictions for the college football playoff. I still have Georgia. I think they're going to run the table. I think it's the Bulldogs' year. I know you don't like hearing that. And then I also got Oklahoma in there. Once they switched away from Spencer Rattler at quarterback, they've looked like a whole new team. They're playing really great right now. I think they get that number 2 spot. I think they will jump Cincinnati, but I do want to see a group of 5 team in the college football playoff. So I got Cincinnati sitting at 3. Hopefully they can make it in. And then my number 4 team, I got Michigan getting in there. I really like the way Michigan's defense is playing right now. So I think that they're going to be able to actually run the table, win the Big Ten, and then find themselves in the college football playoff playing Georgia, where that'll be a tough task, but at least they'll make it in. That probably keeps Jim Harbaugh off the hot seat for a couple of years. And then, Oklahoma, Cincinnati. We'll see how that one goes. It's going to be a kind of crazy game. I don't know how those teams match up, really. We got a Big 12 team there and then Cincinnati. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up with the big dogs. But I think it's Georgia's year. How do you feel?
I am scared as hell of Georgia. So I got Georgia winning it all, as he does. I don't think Alabama is going to make the playoff. I think they're going to lose to Georgia in the SEC championship. My top 4 right now, or top 6, I have Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Alabama, Michigan, Michigan State. That's right now. But at the end of the year, Alabama's going to be booted out, and it's going to be Ohio State replacing them. Georgia will destroy Ohio State, as will destroy Oklahoma. Those are my 2 teams in the national championship, Georgia and Oklahoma. Now, if Alabama can do it, it'll be a party for me, and it'll be hatred from the rest of y'all. So let's just hope that, it'll be a party for me, because you don't want to make me mad. So, yeah, that's what I have. I have Georgia and Oklahoma in the national championship.
Yeah, I just think it's Georgia's year. Then Oklahoma's been there before, and if they get to play Cincinnati, I think they'll actually get out of the first round of the playoff this year. But don't worry. I mean, you can fall asleep at night with your 6 other championship rings, so I think you'll be able to sleep tight. All righty, you heard the bell. We're moving on to our third topic today. We're going to take a step up and talk about the NFL. Now, it's kind of crazy week in the NFL, actually, and it kind of shook up the MVP race a little bit, which is what we're going to talk about right now. Right now, leading the way for me after their win over Cleveland, the Cardinals, I have Kyler actually leading the way in the MVP race. I really like the way he's playing. He's all booted out. He's got that zen going right now. So he's leading the way for me. I got Lamar obviously playing out of his mind right now. A little bit slower of a day-to-day, even though they put the smack down on the Chargers. Josh Allen obviously playing out of his mind. The Bills, I think, may be the best team in the NFL. And then, of course, you can't rule out Brady. He's putting up crazy stats, lots of touchdowns, low interceptions. That always helps with the stats when considering the MVP race. But right now I got Kyler leading the way. What about you?
I have Josh Allen leading the way. He's been doing an amazing job since that loss to the Steelers the first week. And what he showed us against, and anybody, like I said, anybody can do this against the Chiefs. Tom Brady can hurdle the Chiefs just like Josh Allen did. But what he's showing us is that all that hard work, all that pushing through that he's been doing, the Bills have been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I think finally, this year, it's all them. Mm-hmm. It's all them. It's about time that they win it. I mean, last year we tried to get Cleveland. We can't count on them. So we got to count on the Bills this year to do it all.
Yeah, Cleveland's been looking a little shaky. I do think the Bills are the most complete team. And I do have them going to the Super Bowl. I got the Bills coming out of the AFC, and I got the Bucks coming out of the NFC. But my top 5 teams right now, you got the Bills, obviously playing the best football. Week 1 was obviously a fluke. We saw some really crazy scores in that Week 1. I think that's just teams having a whole offseason to prepare for that first game, so you can really scheme up a lot of stuff. I got the Cardinals. Obviously got to go with an undefeated team. They're playing nice right now. On Sunday they got that win over the Browns, who are kind of reeling. I don't know how they're going to go. Baker might be out after this season. We'll see, though. I like Baker. I got the Bucks. You cannot rule out Tom Brady. That team is loaded. I do have them going back to the Super Bowl as well, too. That's my Bills and Bucks, so it's going to be a money Super Bowl. And then I got the Rams, obviously playing great right now. High-powered offense, great defense. Anybody that has both sides of the ball playing that well, you can't rule them out. And then I got the Packers as well, too, just because when you got Rodgers, you always got a chance. So those are my top 5 teams. Who do you got to go in the Super Bowl?
Like I said, I got the Bills, but I also have the Rams going to the Super Bowl. My top 5 right now, Arizona at 1, the Bills at 2, Los Angeles at 3, Rams, that is, and Tampa Bay at 4, and the Ravens at 5. Tampa Bay is still shaky on defense, so yeah.
Yeah, they do have some things to figure out on defense. But you heard the man. Let's move on to our final topic today. So we're actually going to talk a little bit about the NBA. So the season's coming up. I'm excited. It should be a fun one. You got some new teams that may be in the hunt this year. And with that, I mean the Nets. Now, obviously, it's not a surprise that they're going to be good. But they weren't able to make it last year just because of some injuries. They had Kyrie hurt. Harden was on one leg out there, and they still almost beat the Bucks. So I'm excited to see how the Nets play this year. Obviously, you got that Kyrie situation up in the air. But if he figures that, they can figure that out. I don't know what's going to go down with that. They're the team to beat for me. I mean, the Nets are loaded. You got three of the best players in the game right now on one team. And then coming out of the West, my prediction is actually the Lakers. Even though they're old, you can't rule out LeBron. I mean, he goes to the finals every other year of his career and 8 years straight. And, he's still got AD, got to stay healthy, and he's got Westbrook now. So I like the Lakers. Who are you looking forward to this year?
Well, like you said, I have Brooklyn Nets too. They are a cheating super team. So they are going to do cheating super team things and win the championship. And I also have the Lakers. They're another cheating super team. It's just, like you said, there are a whole bunch of old dudes on that team. So my top 5 going into the season, right now I have Milwaukee at 1 because they are the champions. They won the finals. Until they are knocked off, they are the number 1 team. Then you have Brooklyn Nets, the LA Lakers, the Clippers, and then the Phoenix Suns. Just bear with me on that. I think what's his name?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. He's gonna win one before he has to get up out of here. But I got the Brooklyn Nets winning it all this year. It's really no other team that can beat them. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the Nets. It's them and then everybody else for me right now. I do hope Phoenix can make it back. I would love to see Chris Paul win a championship. I think everybody wants to see Chris Paul win a championship. But he's getting older. I mean, you started to see him break down a little bit towards the end of the playoffs. A lot of minutes on him, and he's not LeBron. He can't just keep going. So it'll be interesting to see if Phoenix can make it. For me, if they make it back, it's because Devin Booker turns into a top 5 player in the league, and DeAndre Ayton makes another step, and he turns into maybe like a top 10 to 15 player in the league, which I think he can. I really do like DeAndre Ayton. I think Phoenix could spoil the party for the Lakers, but right now I still got Lakers and Nets. I'm just not going to root against those teams right now. The Bucks can obviously make it back as well too, but with a lot of teams coming off a championship, sometimes they can take it a little bit easier next year. They're not as hungry. That's why I think the Nets really want to do it. Harden's never won a title. It's been a while for Kyrie, KD. Well, not that long, but they definitely want one more to increase their legacy. So I just think it's those two teams, and then the Clippers without Kawhi, and then you got the Nuggets without Murray. It's pretty open in the West, so we'll see how it plays out. But I'm excited to get the season started.
Yep.
All right, that's all we have for you today. Make sure you follow Unorthodox Sports on Instagram. Go follow me, Trey Amburgy, if you want to plug your stuff.
You can follow me at almighty _Wright on Instagram.
_. Don't get it twisted. All right, Cougs. For Coug on the Clock, I'm Drew Amburgy.
I'm Jakolby Wright.
Go Cougs.
Roll Tide.